Perfect. Oh gosh. We finally get to take a break after this. Where we just did an interview yesterday. Just got back yesterday. Yeah, believe it or not, I just came from Washington, D.C.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, had an interview, then went out with y'all last night. So, and then woke up again today this morning.
Get right back to it.
Yeah, right back to it. Yes. We here, y'all. We here. We got all types of bombs and stuff like that. Yeah,
as always, we are in the market for a new jingle.
You know, I got somebody for you. My cousin, you know, everybody got that cousin that do.
Yeah.
But he does a theme song for the Blackout every year. And this is actually the first year he didn't do one, but that was my fault.
Okay.
But like, if you see any like the promo videos for the Blackout, like that's him, and he like custom makes them.
Oh, so he does your videos too?
No, I do the videos, but he does the song.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
He does a song for it every year.
Okay.
That's dope. Yeah, I've watched a couple of videos, little highlights, relays, replays. Yeah, that's a good videographer right there. Very dope, very talented.
So you making connections in live, in real time.
We going after last night. We gonna have a lot more connections, bro.
That's what I like.
Last night was a movie, man. Like, oh man, I gotta follow through with some guests, man. It's gonna be crazy. What's up, y'all? We just getting warmed up, letting y'all, vibe to the tunes real quick, but let's just get right to it, y'all. I'm Kay.
I'm Chaz.
And we are Culture Content, baby.
Yes,
you already know we are back. Never missing a beat. As always, like, comment, subscribe for us. We appreciate you. And
free.
Today, it's free. It don't cost nothing but a finger push, a thumb push to be exact. Oop. So yeah, on that note, our special guest today is Danielle Edmond. Here
Let's
we
get
go.
it.
What's up, guys?
Yeah, like if you know, you know, and if you don't, you about to find out. You know what I mean? You've been missing out on some major events, blackout events. So we just gonna get into it. She is the owner of the Fabulous Friday Society's foundation. So it's a pleasure to have you here, Danielle. Thank you for blessing our podcast and just pulling up for us. One more time.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, thank you, guys.
It's a monumental moment.
I'm so excited to do it.
Absolutely. So how you feeling today? You good? Like good spirits, good energy? I'm good.
Okay. I'm not hungover from last night, so that's good. The bottles was popping. I made it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they were definitely lit in the spot. So that was a night. I'll shout them out because the lit cigar lounge and what's that? Hamilton and everything like that. Super dope. Gave me New York vibes and everything. They had the sections. They had the upstairs, downstairs thing going on. So hopefully we get the owner, somebody on the podcast. That would be a great situation. So I told you ahead of time. I'm gonna talk about this story, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So now y'all know our guest Irene Sparks. Shout out to you, Beanie Paints. You already know.
Hey, Beans.
Yeah. So she had the section at Lit Lounge. Obviously, I know Irene. Danielle knows Irene. So I see Danielle just chilling in the cut, doing her thing, sitting pretty, relaxing. And then I say, hey, I actually asked Irene first. I'm like, that's Danielle, right? And she's like, yeah, da-da-da-da. I said, all right, I'm going to say what up. So I said, hey, Danielle, how you doing? She like, good. And she gave me the, hey, like step back, you know what I mean? Don't invade my space or nothing like that. And I'm like, I'm not no creep for real. Like,
it was definitely not creep. It was just like who are you? Like, hi.
Oh, okay. Good. I'm glad I didn't give up no creep vibes because that would have been bad. That would have been real bad. So then I'm like, me? She's like, no. I said, that's funny. You have an interview with me tomorrow morning. I'm like, it's all right, though. It's all love. It was dark in the spot, probably couldn't see. It was a little shade and everything like that, but that was hilarious. That was hilarious. I'm like, she like, I don't know you. I'm like,
stranger danger.
That's 100% true story.
Yeah. It was hilarious, but it was a moment. And I'm going to talk about you on the podcast tomorrow, right?
Yep. I accept that.
That's funny.
So that's cool. So So yeah, talk to us. We gonna get started. Of course, like I said, special guest Danielle Edmond.
You want me to do the intro?
Yeah, do the intro. We got a nice intro for you.
All right,
or like
cool.
we don't. Yeah. You introduce her, and then she can follow up and do everything else.
Correct me if I'm wrong. All right, so pleasure having you here. Thank you for blessing the podcast, Danielle Edmond, the owner of the Fabulous Friday Society. It's a foundation. It's a 501c3 nonprofit organization based in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It's dedicated to supporting local small businesses through educational programs and community events. It was established in 2023. This foundation aims to strengthen the foundation of local small businesses through extensive training programs. One of their biggest and foundation signature events is the Blackout, which is when?
May 9th.
May 9th.
I got my tickets. Y'all better get your tickets. And I'm dressing fly. My bad. I ain't interrupt you. I'm coming through with the work. Y'all better be ready. You know what I mean? I'm turning heads. We turning heads. We doing all the above. Y'all better miss out. I missed out on too many. I think I missed out on all 5 of them or whatever. But
7.
Okay. 6. I was up by 1. But yeah, I'm there. I'm in the building. My bad. Go ahead, bro.
So look, the Blackout's an annual gala that combines entertainment and philanthropy. The event features live DJ performances, catering, a cigar lounge, photo booths, and a 50-50 raffle. Attendees are required to wear an all-black attire, adhering to the event's dress code. And I seen something too. It said you can wear these accents. You cannot wear these accents. So please adhere to the dress codes.
Dress accordingly.
If you come in there with the things that says no, you're getting clipped at the door.
Right.
Sorry,
the
but not
bouncers
sorry.
is throwing you out.
And it says it in the ticket. So when you buy your ticket, it literally says that you can be turned away at the door if you're not in the dress code. And thankfully, we've really not had a big issue with it. There's a couple people that slid through and I kind of gave them the eye like,
like you messing up the pictures, bro.
Right.
But for the most part, people do adhere to it, and I appreciate it because it really creates a vibe. It really creates a lot of camaraderie when people are all dressed in black and there's not like one person wearing red or one person wearing white.
That doesn't make
sense. Like I don't even do it, and it's my party, and people are like, "Well, you should wear a color." I'm like, "No, I'm trying to be."
I'm blending in with everybody else, making it look good. I mean, I get it, but that's not your vision for your event, so it makes sense. So I think that was a beautiful introduction. So can you elaborate? Just tell us about the Black Society Foundation, how you got started with it, and then maybe let's take a little further back. Like, what led you up to even start to create the business?
Yeah. So this is a great story. I love telling this story. So Jamie Younger, who you guys had on the show.
Yeah. Shout out to
LU.
Yeah, Lincoln Connect. Okay.
Shout out to Young Brothers Bar. And he had just bought this space next to his bar to renovate and make it into, the space that it is now. And so we were in there and I was like, this is kind of empty. I was like, we should throw a party in here. And of course, in the exact Jamie style, he was like, do it. And
right.
I was like, okay.
He's with everything.
He's with all the things. And so Bill Henry Band, a great friend of mine, shout out to Bill and Dose and Larry. And so I called them up and I was like, you guys want to play? And they were like, sure. And then I called up TJ, who is like a brother to me. Shout out to TJ. And I was like, hey, you want to come down DJ? He was like, absolutely. So we literally we called a construction party in Jamie's empty space. It was free. And we threw up some lights and like Dose's drums were literally on like wooden pallets. Like there was no walls, there was no drywall, nothing. And we had a great time and it was just so fun. We had people were literally in the streets. Like it was a lot of people that showed up. And we had a great time. And so the next year, I decided to do it a little fancier because that was just really like a block
threw
party.
It together, type of
threw it
thing.
together.
Ain't nothing wrong with a block party. Obviously, it was cool,
It was. And so then the next year we moved to the Boiler Room, which is on Banksville Road, which is a lovely space. And so we were at the Boiler Room for 2 years straight, and it was their capacity is 300 people, and we sold out both years. And then COVID happened, and for me, I was kind of like, you know what? It was fun. It was something to do. Maybe that's kind of it. But and this sounds, it sounds very cheesy, but I literally had a dream. And I was like, I should get like everybody that I know to, do this party and not just do it there, but like really do it big. And so I thought casino, which is definitely, it, has its own hurdles because it is such a large space. It's such a large investment. Right. And then with COVID, I wasn't sure if people were going to turn out because
absolutely, because
it's COVID,
right? Exactly. So we were coming out of it, and the ban was kind of lifted, and the casino was like, if you still want to do it, you're more than welcome. And I was like, okay, I'm just walk out on faith that the city's going to show up for this, and they absolutely unequivocally did.
Love.
Shout out to the bird for that. Man.
Yeah. So most people know 2021 is kind of like the first year because that was the biggest year after that gap. But it really had started in 2017. And so we did the casino in 21. And then after that, we went to Acroshore Stadium, which was such a huge, I was so proud of the city and the people that I work with and my staff to really bring that together because there are not a lot of privately run Black-owned events that happen there. And they were a little apprehensive at first, but, after they came and they saw what we did, they wrote me a very lovely email.
That's what's up.
And they were like, your event was great. Your guests were great. Your staff was great. Everything was, organized. They're like, please come back anytime. So that was really, really lovely.
Shout out to them, man. Breaking barriers all over the bird, man. The casino and Acroshore Stadium, that's two legendary venues. So this wasn't my question, but you said you sold out the 300 event space twice, right? How did you know? I mean, that people don't understand. People always just want to go straight to the casino and be like, yo, I want to have the biggest event ever. What was your thought process on going from a smaller venue space, which is more intimate, to growing? Obviously you sold out, but what was your idea behind just a small event space?
It definitely takes that time, and I feel like a wise elder and doing this so many years now. But I tell people you have to start small. One, you're really kind of also building your reputation because one of the things that people ask immediately when you see a flyer, they're like, whose event is this? The second question is, where is it? Then the third question is kind of, how much is it?
Right.
And so it kind of goes in that succession. But it is hard to jump 2 feet into a venue like the casino because it is such a commitment financially and physically and socially. And so I definitely tell people to really start small. And 300 is not small.
Right.
No, it's not.
But it really was just every year. I was just telling Kiki Brown, shout out to Kiki, yesterday that, every year is not a guarantee. I've been fortunate that my event does sell out every year. It still takes a leap of faith. It still takes a lot of work.
Absolutely.
I don't just post on Facebook and, I'll see you 6 months. I'm out in the streets. Everybody knows I'm my biggest promoter.
Right.
I talk to people. I hand out flyers. I literally walk into businesses and barbershops and hair salons and say, hey, my name is Danielle. I'm doing an event. Can I put my poster up? And most of them say yes. And most of them end up coming.
Right.
So I literally
look, that's
do the
hard
legwork.
work. Yeah, foot the pavement, man.
Absolutely.
A lot of people are not doing that anymore. Everybody, social media is good for what it does, but sometimes you do got to knock on doors, man. That's the best way. Yeah, people, I met Danielle at the barbershop. And those connections are kind of even better, right? Because, I talked to you on social media, but I don't know you, But I can say, look, I met her. I don't know. We not best friends,
right.
Not
yet.
Not yet, right. But I do know her, so that's dope.
Yeah.
Okay, so your foundation typically empowers small businesses. What made you so passionate about that?
So really, it started with the businesses themselves. So when I started doing the Blackout in 21, I didn't want it to just be a party at that point.
Yeah.
And so I literally said, I'm like, well, what can I do to turn this into something that has purpose?
Yeah,
we've already got the party part down.
Right.
We've already got the entertainment down. But what do we do with all of this, all this momentum? How can we capitalize on that? Yeah. How can we capitalize on that? And the support that, I received through sponsorships and advertisements was 100% from local small businesses. Wow. And so realizing that, I was like, okay, well, how can I get back to them what they've given to me and helping to establish, this event? And so I was working with some other people on different events, and I was like, I really want to start doing small business workshops because just in my career, I do adult education training and public speaking.
Oh, you're a teacher.
Not really, but but I knew that I had a certain skill set that I could pass along, even in just doing the blackout. Like I write the website myself, I write the tickets myself, I do like even the terms and conditions. All of that I do myself.
That's what's up. That's essential.
Right. The budget, the finances, like I do all of it. And the advertising and everything that you see from the blackout, from the posters to the handouts to the website, social media posts, I make all of those.
Oh, wow.
And
Thank you.
You just can't bypass
what's
that.
up,
Like
yo.
that's hard work,
Word.
dedication.
it is. It really is. But those are skills that, small business owners need to do, especially in this day and age when it comes to social media and things like that. Like, yeah, you can write a post like, oh, I'm having a pop-up shop for my business this Saturday. But if you, learn how to use Canva, which is free, and then you can have, a nice background in your branding and even make a video about it or whatever, then you're just going to, enhance what you're already doing. And so that was really my goal, was to give back to the local small businesses that had supported me from the beginning.
That's what's up. We use a term that we always say, and this is basically what you did. One hand wash the other.
Absolutely.
And
Two
both
hands wash the face.
You know what I mean? So
you can have that.
we use that all the time, but like that's basically how you was able to build it from the ground up. And I seen some of the sponsors and some of them people we had on the show, some of them people we work with, and I mean I think that's what's up, man.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
I'm grateful for that for sure too, because whenever people do come and their advertisements run throughout the blackout, they get that brand familiarity and they're like, oh, I've seen this brand.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I know this person.
I know this logo.
I know this logo.
Yep.
Exactly. And so that's why the advertisement piece is so important, so that people get comfortable. And also then they know that they're Black owned businesses too. The majority are Black owned businesses as well. So you can go to any event and you can have your, UPMCs and high marks and things like that. And that's fine, because corporate sponsorship is really nice.
No, I think that's good too.
We're not opposed to corporate sponsorship, but the small businesses that continue to support this event really are the backbone, and it's always my pleasure to reach out, like you said, and give them something back as well.
That's what's up.
Yeah, that's dope, man. So I got a real simple question: why Black? Like why not purple? Why not red? It's a serious question, because you so many colors. It's just like, I mean, I get why I would pick black.
Well,
you know what I mean?
actually said
Like, but I mean, yeah, like, because it doesn't have to be that. You know what I mean? But
right.
I just want to hear it from you. So yeah, go ahead.
I mean, there really isn't like some great, philosophical reason why. Mainly it's because almost everybody has something Black. And that's really the reason for the dress code too. Like if you read the dress code, like it doesn't say, tuxedos and suits. Like you can absolutely wear
jeans.
Tuxedos and suits if you want to, even with dress shoes. But we kind of live in a day and age now where there's a lot of people who don't own suits anymore.
Yeah.
And I personally wear tennis shoes every year. So,
that's dope. Look,
I have a
fun
gown
fact.
on. Right, fun fact. I have a gown on, but I have on tennis shoes.
I mean, you run, exactly. You running around, you can't be in those shoes. You know what I mean? Because I'm pretty sure you get there and people are still like asking you questions, how you want things set up, where you want them, and everything like that. So yeah, you got to be in some tennis shoes, like, because your feet gonna be hurting.
Yeah.
I got a bunion now that's like, no bueno.
Yeah, we talked about that recently too, about bunion. I don't know why we.
Sorry, super inappropriate, but I get it. You know what I mean? My feet would be hurting too. So is that the same way you go about choosing your business mentors and everything, or it's just like an open sesame type of thing?
So it is open. There's only certain times where I kind of vet which businesses are able to participate. But for the most part, I really haven't had to deny anybody in any kind of way. Like if you're a local small Black business or just a local business in Pittsburgh, you're always more than welcome to sponsor. I won't say that we keep it PG or anything, because we're adults and everything like that. But there, of course, like are certain things that you don't necessarily want to promote. But I've never really run into that, so far. So,
what are some of the hurdles you had when you first started this business? And then give me a hurdle, but also give me a success story, por favor.
Money.
Real.
Really. Capital, that don't come by easy. Like,
Money.
Money does not grow off trees. It don't fall from the sky. They don't just give you money. It's real.
Yes. And so especially, I mean, like I said, the first 3 years were a little bit smaller, and like I said, the first one was free, which is me and some friends, and so that was fine. But when it came to 21 to do the casino, it's a $25,000 minimum. So once you sign your name on the dotted line,
that's it. You locked in.
you're,
25
no matter
for
what
that 25K.
happens, you are responsible, for that money. And so, and that's when I talk about it being a leap of faith, it really was, because, if the city didn't come out, then it supported, I was still responsible for that.
Right, exactly. You lose out.
And so that's another reason why I was out on the ground, like, hey, hi, come to my
That's
event,
some
please.
good motivation right
That's
there.
some really good motivation. When you're looking at invoices with commas,
That shit gets scary.
Cool.
Yeah.
But no, honestly, outside of the local small businesses who were really great in supporting the event, I also had the support of my parents. Shout out to Charles and Deirdre Edmond. My parents backed me fully, and so
What's up,
yeah.
Shout out to Mama Love and Pops.
Shout out to the
We
family.
appreciate y'all. Yeah, shout out to the fam.
Yeah, and so I always told my dad, I was like, well, you were my plan B, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
if this doesn't come through, I need you to.
If all else fails,
So,
come
Pops,
through.
what's up, man?
I love you, right?
So I'm down like 12. I need that.
I
Like,
swear.
send that in. That's what's up.
No, but so that part is always kind of daunting, because even though the event is still a success, it still takes a certain amount of capital. It still takes a certain amount of personal investment to say, okay, this is what I need. This is what I need to achieve. This is what can happen. You have to be prepared for everything in between. So that was the hardest part.
What it sounds like to me, you had a hurdle and a success story, because the hurdle was getting that bill.
Right.
Knowing you have to pay that, and then obviously you probably didn't have it up front, but you put the feet to the pavement to make sure you got it, and then the success story came when you probably just step back at the event like, wow, it's popping in here,
Together.
it's shaking. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everything clicking the way it's supposed to. You sold out. Everybody's happy. No riff raff. No raucous stuff. Everybody just doing their thing the way they supposed to, though.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's another thing too. And I'm glad that you got a letter from Stillers.
Acrisure.
Oh, Acrisure. Okay,
From
yeah.
Acrisure, right?
That's
And that's good, because a lot of times, and we talked about this before, there's a stigma when it comes to all black events, when it comes to black people. There's a stigma that they think we just one trick ponies, we just rowdy, ratchet. No, there's some elegance to it. There's some professionalism to it. So you have to look at us in that light. And I was glad that they was able to shout you out. You know what I mean? Because they probably was like, I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So when they see
No
everything,
Hennessy.
yeah,
No Hennessy in there.
Right.
No. You got Hennessy?
Yeah.
Shut it down.
shut it down, right? So when you was able to, they was able to sing that you was able to put on an event of this magnitude with no problems, all love. They said, "Oh yeah, please come back." That's what's up, yeah.
Oh, are we going back to Acrisure or Casino anytime soon, or
So-
you just no?
I'm not opposed to it. Like I said, from a back end side, they were very lovely to work with, but the structure of the stadium was really odd. So we had to kind of break up where the stage was for the live performers versus where it was for the DJs, and that created some odd,
Confusion,
because
yeah.
it's a rectangle, because you have one side of the stadium.
Okay.
But with the casino and other venue spaces, it's a square, so it makes it a little bit easier. Even our venue for this year is the Pittsburgh Shriner Center, which is out Route 28, and it is a lovely venue. I cannot wait. It's 5 acres of glorious land. And
5 acres is big.
yeah, it's really beautiful. So I hope people get there early to take pictures outside before it gets dark, because it is really beautiful. Like I said, we'll have a cigar tent as well. And so I'm
I'll
really
be in
excited to go to that venue this year.
100%. That's dope. Like I said, I can't wait to go. Again, May 9th.
May 9th.
May 9th. Be there.
4
or
weeks.
matter of fact, do you even have any tickets left? Because it was a 500 only. If you ain't in that 500,
50
you
was
clipped.
left like a couple days ago.
Yeah, you clipped. How many? You got any tickets left?
So, I always keep a little close to the vest, but they
Okay.
are running out. So if you, especially if you're looking to I had a lady call me yesterday about a table, and I was like, yes, there are a literal few. So if you want to do that, definitely jump on it sooner than later.
Stop waiting till the last minute.
Please.
Once I
Listen.
seen the 500, I'm like, this gonna go. Let me get this right now, because I'll be waiting till this week and then be like, oh, sold out. And I'm like, I'm gonna be tight. So yeah, get your tickets early. Stop waiting till the last minute. I know I'm probably not the best person to put that out there, but get it early. Secure your spot in the event, and come out May 9th, have a good time. You know what I mean? So you spoke about a lot of the avenues that go into creating a business. Can you drop a gem for somebody or for us that like, what is just like something that we probably not thinking of that goes into the preparation of the event? That, look, you need to make sure you cross your T's and dot your I's on this. Like, obviously you got to do that for everything, but what's something that you learned along your way? Like, look, I need to make sure this is happening every time, every year to make it successful, to make it pop.
Yeah. First thing is organization. I'm naturally a very organized person, but I don't announce and I don't put tickets on sale and I don't say anything about the event until I've spent my time doing all of my back end work. So what time is it going to start? What time is it going to end? Where is it going to be at? Get that secured, all, because there's a lot of invoices, there's a lot of contracts, there's a lot of documents to be signed. Okay, well,
A lot of variables.
There's a lot of variables. Who's going to play, who's the entertainment going to be, get their availability, get their contracts, get those things signed. And then also with the tickets, because I do offer a variety of tickets. Of course, there's general admission, but then there's also an option called the night out option, because if you want to skip dinner and you just want to come, for the party of it, you can come.
I ain't skipping.
You can come at 10 o'clock. But even having that option available, those are just things that you have to work through, because like I said, sometimes there aren't people who want to come for dinner or want to come for the whole thing, or maybe they have a prior engagement but
Absolutely.
they still want to show up.
Yeah.
And then all the advertisement options, all of the sponsorship options, because they're all different, they all have different levels and things that are available and different perks and things like that. Most people really want to be closer to the stage, so they like that option as well. So having all of that together before I even announce the date, before tickets go on sale, takes a lot of work on me, but it's worth it, because once it's on sale, once the website is up, like I said, I write all of that myself. Once it goes live, I know that everything is done. I'm not rewriting, I'm not going in and changing terms and conditions or anything like that, or I might forget something here or there, like, oh, I need to add to the website. But that kind of preparation really takes a lot of the pressure off of the things that I have to do administratively.
Absolutely.
And so then my full focus after tickets goes on sale goes into marketing promotion, because I don't have to worry about, is my website up? Are the tickets working? All those kind of, who didn't sign their contract? All those other things, like all that's done. So now I can just focus fully on marketing and promotion. So that would definitely be, my advice to anybody trying to do events is have your ducks in a row before you even announce, before you even tickets go on sale, because you want to get the word out and everything. But if it's unorganized, your guests are going to be so unhappy. I've been to events where I'm unhappy and I'm like, this could have been done better. This could have been.
Which event?
Organized.
I'm just playing. Name
names.
How long is your preparation for the event? Because you do it like once a year.
Yeah.
So how long is the prep?
It's usually a couple months. I usually so the blackout is always April or May. I go on vacation almost immediately after. I can't wait.
Didn't you? I thought you. Oh no, you said you came back from work. Okay. Yeah.
So I go on vacation. I have some summertime. Summertime is kind of my off time, and then usually around late fall. Like August, September. Then I start on that preparation for the next year, and like figuring out all those elements that I just talked about. And then usually tickets go on sale usually late October, early November.
Wow.
That's dope. Yeah. It ain't happening overnight.
Right.
She's putting blood, sweat, and tears into this, y'all.
Literally.
So
it's so much that she got to go on vacation right after work.
I can't wait. Shout out to my cruise crew. I can't wait.
Oh, I'm cruised out. But shout out to y'all. I went on 2 cruises last year. I ain't going on one for another 5. So, but shout out to y'all. Yeah, she's like, yo, I'm going on vacation 12 hours after.
12 hours after.
Listen, I almost did one time because I was looking at the dates. I was like, oh, that's like 24 hours. Oh, I'm about to be out of here. I'm going to be on the beach the next day.
That's super dope. So we obviously talked about the Black Gala event, but we'll circle back
May
to
9th.
that. Again, May 9th, be there, show up, show out, all black, no accents. Check the
correct accents.
Right, yeah, that part. Check the website again.
Really,
make
it's
sure you
just
come
no
correct.
colors.
Right.
Yeah.
So you wear your gold, silvers, white. I had a lady ask, can my husband wear a white shirt? Yes, he can wear a white shirt.
Come in here with red.
Yeah, just not no colors, please.
So can you talk about your actual business and what community support you provide to local vendors and Yeah, that's the question.
Yeah. So some of the events that we've done thus far, like I was talking about how I write and build my own website. So I do that through Google Sites, which is free.
Okay.
And so I did a class on how to build a free website because a lot of people spend money on Wix and GoDaddy and all these other things.
Absolutely.
And it's like, you can do this for free. And it's not really hard. It's pretty user friendly. The only thing that you do have to pay for is your domain. But I get my domain through Squarespace. It's $20 a year.
Can't beat that.
And so I did a class on that. It was well attended. And people still reach out to me now like, hey, you know, how did you do that or whatever. So I do want to rerun that class this year. How to build a free website.
No, but when is the class coming?
Oh, so it hasn't been scheduled yet. So I call it Fabulous Friday season. Okay. When I'm in Fabulous Friday season, which is lit. Now, I'm not doing anything else. But usually a couple weeks after is when I start planning for the workshops, and I try to do the workshops between summer and fall before I start Fabulous Friday season all over again.
Right, 100%.
And so, and the other ones I did was talking about Canva. Canva is such a great tool for small businesses, people, if you're doing family function, cookout, like
flyers, all types of things, business cards, for sure.
Business cards, t-shirts, videos, all those things. And so I did a class on how to use Canva. And that was really, we did that virtually, and actually the whole class is online if somebody wants to rewatch it. But
Go back, learn something.
Right.
Go back, learn something.
I'm learning something now.
Exactly. And then I had partnered with Pursuit Lending to do a financial literacy workshop. And we had some really great speakers come in. And we did that over at CKV Suites with Bernard Alexander. And
Shout out
to him.
Shout out to Bernard. And so those are the type of classes that, you know, I was doing and want to continue to do. And it really just is all about what can I continue to do to provide things that small businesses need and can use. But also we've kind of turned a corner last year and started also including community engagement events.
Okay.
And so I also want to do that as well because, you know, we do have a lot of business owners, but not everybody is a business owner.
Absolutely.
And I was fortunate enough to do a couple community engagement events last year. So one of my favorites was for Halloween. We did a family karaoke at Halloween at BJ's Event Center. And it was really, we had a ball. Like we had a blast. We were singing Disney songs and kids kind of took over and they were singing songs I had never even heard of and from some Disney, The Descendants or something like that.
Oh, like one of the new Disney movies.
Right, one of the newer Disney movies.
You singing the classics.
Right. I'm still singing Under the Sea. And
Tevin Campbell, you know, from Goofy movie and everything.
That's my favorite
that was a
movie
classic
of all time.
Goofy movie?
Yes.
You are.
Yeah, I have a tattoo of Powerline.
Wow.
It was my favorite movie.
That's so dope. That's one of my movies too.
Love it.
I like part 1 and 2.
See, me too. I like 2 too.
Yeah, the college.
Nah, Goofy movie was fire.
People be hating on the second one. I like it.
Nah, that was dope. I don't know what y'all talking
We
about.
just
That
do a
whole
whole different podcast episode about it.
But real quick, I don't want to digress too much, but like, in my opinion, I think Aladdin and a Goofy movie had some of the best music soundtracks back in the day.
Probably.
Like you talking about Peebo Bryson, you know what I mean, Tevin Campbell and everything. Like those were like legendary songs,
especially at that time too.
Yeah, like to have such talented people doing it, and you know, obviously I didn't know when I was watching it as a kid, but as I got older, I'm like, oh, I know Tevin Campbell. I got this album. Mama Love got this album right here. Like,
there's a really great documentary about it on Disney Plus right now. I actually just watched it yesterday. I run a movie group on Facebook, Movie Brief. Shout out to my briefers.
Okay.
And so I wrote a review about it because most people I know that's like my favorite movie. And so I was like watching the documentary like, I'm so glad. It's been 30 years and like people like really
it's the 30th anniversary.
So I'm glad they're getting the shine that they deserve because it's a great movie.
That is dope. Shout out to Disney for that wonderful classic right there. But I want to bring it back to the financial literacy classes. Is that just for adults, or are you bringing it to young adults in the community, or is that something you plan on doing?
I'm so glad you asked that because that's definitely one of the top priorities for this year is to also do youth classes. I mean, our kids nowadays, they live in a different culture than we do.
Absolutely.
And so they're being raised almost to be entrepreneurs in their own right, by influencing social media or just having a business, if it's candy, if it's socks, if it's whatever, t-shirts, all those things. And so they're growing up with a mindset that they're going to be business owners. And so it's even more important that we continue to pass on the knowledge, especially about financial literacy, to the kids that want to pursue that, particular lifestyle. So there is definitely going to be a youth component. So I'm really excited to partner with a couple other people on that to make it successful.
Yeah, we know a couple people we could plug you with that's doing some good things for the youth and the community. So again, my man is hot right now. A meal cook, right? Boot up. We just had Shayla, Cure Violence East. They doing a lot of good things at the Community Forge building for the young adults and everything. And I mean, hey, we make the plug or connection to make that happen. That would be super dope.
This is a connection.
This is why we have the podcast. Just connecting all the dots and everything. But that's dope.
So you wear a lot of different hats, and I'm definitely interested in trying to build a free website. You know what I'm saying? Because we had years ago we had a company, and we had 2 people actually create a website. And the website was cool, but I think that's just something essential that people need to learn.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You do all your websites your own. You do your own coding. You place. How are you able to be that creative on everything you do? Because you got financial literacy classes, you're doing websites, you're doing Canva, you do public speaking. Do you do classes on public speaking as well? Like,
I haven't yet, but I definitely am. It's something that I think that it's a skill set that is literally universal. You can use it in many different. Most people think public speaking. They're like, "Well, when am I going to stand on a stage and give a TED talk?" You're probably
just
not.
Talking right now is
right.
kind of
You're
like
just talking
a
right
form
now.
of public speaking.
Absolutely.
For sure.
And it's an important component to just networking. And Bernard does a great job with that when he does his pitch contest, because it's teaching you how to speak. How to get your business advertised in 60 seconds. But in instances where you have longer than 60 seconds, you have to be eloquent enough to say, this is my business, this is what I do, this is why I'm passionate about it, and this is how I need your support.
Yeah, he's good at putting somebody on the spot.
Oh,
man.
sure.
If you ever run into Bernard, you better have that pitch ready to go.
Right there.
Like, because you never know when it's gonna happen. But in the reality of it, that's exactly how
Absolutely.
it happens. Though. So it's just something that, I'm pretty sure he does it lightheartedly, but it's just like you need to be ready at all times to pitch your business, because you're your brand. Like, she's her walking brand. Like, so she has to continuously sell and promote herself. So that's dope. I had another question, but it'll probably come back to me. But you had mentioned doing free websites and like finding all these resources. This was a question that I kind of stole from somebody. Matter of fact, shout out to Billy Bone, because I'm taking this from you. So what are the pros to just starting a business with free resources, as opposed to like going out and getting like a Gmail suite and paying for all these things, like tag the fabulousfriday.coms and what obviously tell people what the benefits is, the cons and everything, and just your opinion, and like, because I think it stresses people out thinking that they have to have so much money up
all
front.
the ducks in order, and all this
like,
paid stuff.
Yeah, can you just go into like how to just get started? You know what I mean? So go ahead.
Definitely. I really think that the only con is time. So most of the time, people will pay to get something done faster by someone who knows how to do it. They're like, I don't want to take the time to learn it. I'd rather just pay somebody and be done with it. And we live in a culture of convenience. So
absolutely,
that definitely tracks. But it really doesn't take as much time as most people think. And so I still build websites for other people. And I had just done a website a couple of weeks ago for a small nonprofit. And when I do the website, I also teach them how to update it themselves, because you're not going to keep calling me every time you need to add a picture or change a paragraph or your phone number change or something like that. So then I teach them, how I did. I'm like, oh, that's really easy. It's like, it is.
You just paid me to do it.
Yeah. So once you kind of have the basics of what you need, whether they're through free services or whether you paid for it, that's totally your prerogative. It's really not as daunting as most people think it is. And I personally am really about my budget. So
Right,
for me, when I look at those yearly costs or those annual costs, and it's like, well, if I want this business to be successful for the next 10, 20 years, do I want to pay this fee
10, 20 years.
for the next 10, 20 years? So it's like,
crazy.
okay, well, how can I do this for free? Or how can I do it in a way that's reasonable to my budget and is not going to take a lot out of, my bottom line?
Yeah, I think the most important thing is, like, especially if you're running a business, like, you have to keep learning. Like, or else you're gonna go broke for real. Like, you can't. It's okay, like you said, to outsource certain things, but to keep coming back and not learning yourself and trying to figure it out, like, you're always going to be at the mercy of somebody else for your business, which isn't good. Like, even like, you got to take that learning curve. You have to. Like, that's just the best thing you could do. Learn your business, because there's no reason why somebody else should know your business better than you do. Right?
You start looking back at your books and you're like, oh, I spent money on this and I spent money on that and I spent money on, advertising or a social media manager. And I get that. It does, once you get to a certain point, you have to outsource those things. But if it's still just you or you're running a small team, take the time to do those things on your own, because you're really going to save yourself. One, you're going to learn your business better. You're going to be a better business person because you're doing all those things yourself. But then you're also just going to save. Like, I shop at thrift stores, so I love to save.
right.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I haven't been in a thrift store, but I gotta go. I gotta see what's
People
in
ask me
there.
all the
It's
time,
like a
"Oh,
second
where
or
did you
third
go?" I'm
time.
like,
Yeah.
People
I'm
keep
a
bringing that
thrifter,
up.
for sure.
Okay, shout out to the thrifters out there, doing your thing.
That's a different kind of skill. I dibble and dabble, like, more for the kids. You know what I mean? Because stuff be expensive, so I definitely want to be cost effective and make sure that I'm not,
because they growing up too quick.
Yeah, they grow man
Princeton
quick.
like up to my shoulders. I was like, yo, slow
People
down.
start looking at you like, yo, what's up, son? For real.
Nah, don't be taller than me. That's embarrassing. I knew you since you was in the womb, and then you was in my arm, and then now you taller than me. That's wild disrespectful. Like,
That is crazy.
so shout out to the kids. But let's bring it back to the Fabulous Society. Where do you see your event going in the next 5 years?
So this year is year 7.
Siete.
Year 8 is already planned.
Oh, that's how you do
Hit that.
Can't wait.
That's how I work. I always work a year in advance. And that's for 2 reasons. One, because I always like to have my path, laid out. And then 2, venues, especially at this size, are booked out for years.
Right.
Yeah.
And so you have to be, on top of it as far as that's concerned. So year 8 is already planned. My goal for the 10th year is for it to be somewhere else.
Like out of state or
Somewhere else is where I'll leave it for now.
Okay. I like that.
That means you're already pondering.
Yeah, and I
man.
do. I like to. I really do like to switch it up, and I know that people love going to the casino, and it's definitely a vibe and everything. But there will probably never be a time where I do something twice in a row.
Yeah.
And so
Gotta mix it up.
Yeah, I mean, other than the 2 years we were at the boiler room, but every other year since then it has been somewhere different. So I want to continue that tradition. But yeah, so the next, and I I really want to grow more on the foundation side and and have more of a structure, because right now when I do the schedule for the classes, it's really kind of at my own leisure, which is fine. I mean, it's convenient for me, but I also want to have more of a set schedule so that I can do more things as far as bringing in other speakers, bringing in, other talent. And because, I don't teach all these myself. I'm not a guru. I don't know everything. And so to pull in other people and to share their expertise, and that's going to take a little bit, more time and scheduling to do that.
Absolutely. I don't mean to put you on the spot, but can you drop a gem for us? Something that a little surprise on the podcast, a little tidbit. You don't have to. You could curve it. But
well, since you brought it up before, there has been some consideration for one of these years to not be black. And what I can tell you is that it won't be white.
That's hilarious. No, for real. It might be purple. You know what I mean?
It might be purple.
Nah, purple is the color of royalty, so you can't go wrong with that. So that's dope. So I really appreciate that. Dropping that little tidbit for us. That was dope.
I got a question. Is there any other corporations or partnerships you're looking forward to maybe connecting with in the future?
Yeah, anybody with a checkbook.
Pocketbook open. Ready to go.
Real simple.
No, honestly, I'm always really fortunate to work with the businesses and people that I work with, because a lot of times they're people that I frequent. Like there's very few times where somebody has sponsored or has worked with me and they've come from out of the blue. I have no idea who you are, what you do, or what you are. And that's kind of the beauty of Pittsburgh. People really kind of down Pittsburgh for being small and, those other things. But I like that because I can walk into a place and I know who owns it. Right. I can walk into a place where I know who the manager is or whatever, or who's DJing, who the barmaids are, and that kind of familiarity is important to me because everything in the world that I live in is about people and networking.
Absolutely.
And so, there have been, I think, maybe a very small handful of businesses that I just didn't know at all, but that very rarely happens. I do have a story about that. So in 21 at the casino, I had a young lady reach out to me and she said, I do these giant lighted letters. I seen your event.
Okay.
It was about 3 weeks out. I was fully engrossed in everything that I needed to do to make sure that this event goes off. And I told her, I said, listen, I said, I don't have time to, walk you through what to do or what not to do. If you can come in, set up and, do what you need to do, that's totally okay with me. And she's like, absolutely. She's like, I'll do it for free. I just want to get my business out there. I was like, fine. The day of, I had totally forgot I had this conversation with her. I show up and the letters are there. And it was beautiful. And it said the blackout and it was all lit up. And it was so great. She was there and gone. I did not even see her.
Ghost.
Wow. Shout out to her.
And it was one of the most photographed, portions of the night. Like that pictures of those letters were everywhere. And so I emailed her after it was over. I said, thank you so much. Like you did exactly what I asked you to do. And she has literally worked for me every year since.
That's what's up,
You can shout her out too.
Yeah, for sure. It's Neon Spice. It's her business. And so, and it goes back to that spirit of entrepreneurship. Right, she had a business, she reached out and like I said, she offered her services for free, which she didn't have to do. But I was like, listen, you're on the list. Like,
right. But
that's an investment.
That's an important thing, an important tactic. Like everybody thinks they have to get paid for their services, especially like jumping in the game. Like you can't always start at 100. Sometimes you're gonna have to give out a free. I've given out free videos. I've done oh man, I don't even know how many free videos. Even sometimes when I get paid, the amounts I'm taking is practically free. I'm working for free. So just know, like, that's how you got to get into the game. Like, you got to know your worth, but you got to understand you got to play the game to win. So get in how you fit in and you do some free events. I'm not saying do that entire career, obviously, but, make it make sense. You're trying to kick down the door. You're trying to get into certain spaces. You're going to do something for free. Like, that's just the name of the game. So, and I wanted to bring it back to the intimacy, Pittsburgh versus like someplace like New York, bigger cities. And, people, like you said, always trying to downplay Pittsburgh, but like people don't understand, like, the big cities are not where it's at either, not necessarily. Right. Like it's a good party vibe or whatever the case is, and yes, millions of people that you don't know, but would you rather be in a city where there's millions of people, or like you said, or is it worth being somewhere where you have these connections, where you have pool, where you can have 500 to 1,000 plus people show up for you and support
you actually know for
that you actually know, right? Yeah. So it's like, people got to take Pittsburgh for what it is. Like, stop downplaying. Like, it is a great city. It's an up and coming city. And I always say this, like, the people are like, oh yeah, y'all from New York and y'all living in Pittsburgh. And it's just like, you got to understand, it's a million people doing the same thing and you're not really standing out. Then you come out here to somewhere, Pittsburgh, you're doing the same thing. And then all of a sudden, everybody recognizes you for bringing something to the city that it didn't have before, just a different energy in general. So, I think that was very important because I always hear people, oh, Pittsburgh is this, Pittsburgh is that. And I'll be like, oh, you here? And I'm like, yeah.
It's not bad.
Like I can't never own a house like that in New York. And I could, but like I have several. So, you know what I mean? It's not the same. Like for somebody's one house in New York, you got 5 here in Pittsburgh, you know, and that's way worth it. So I just wanted to ad-lib and throw that in there because
it's true though.
I've been born and raised in Pittsburgh, and one of the reasons why I continue to do it, because there's been plenty of years where I didn't make $1. And, you know, a lot of times and people are like, oh, you probably make all like, no, I mean, I do it because I love my city. And having been born and raised here, I know that there are not a lot of opportunities for us to get dressed up, have a good time. And then you know that there's going to be safe, you know, that it's going to be mature, it's, you know, no disrespect to the tribe vibes, but it's not going to be a tribe vibe. All you know, we can be a little bit of tribe, but
just a little bit. We like a little bit of ratchet, a little bit of ratchet. Just a bit.
That after 10 p.m. set changes a little bit. We, you know, get a little loose after that. Right. But you know, in general, though, I really do. I continue to do it because I love it. It is a lot of work. It's a huge undertaking. Yes. There's always, you know, the negatives, and sometimes there's negative comments and things like that, because I send out a survey to the guests, you know, after it's over, and that has been very helpful to me as well. So that would be another piece of advice that
read the surveys
I would give to people that, you know, are looking to do events. It's like, listen to your people, listen to your guests. That's definitely something that I've learned over the years. So in the first 3 years, we didn't have electronic ticketing. It was just like your name's at the door, you know, kind of deal. But when you get into, you know, the 600s, that takes a lot more work. And that was from a guest. And they were like, oh, you should have electronic ticketing. And I was like, I should have electronic ticketing. And I looked into it.
Legit. Fabulous Friday, you know what I mean?
And that was from a guest suggestion was to do that. And so, you know, it's very important to listen, because they're the ones that are patronizing your event. You want to make sure that, especially when you get to the price point that mine is at, it's like they're spending a decent amount of money. You want to make sure that they're getting everything they want for their money. Yeah, it's
kind of like at the price, it's like it should be electronic, right?
Exactly. You get to the door, scan your name, pencil, and pen, everything. Yeah,
just like the scan, the looking up your name versus the ticket don't match up. Like what's happening here?
Yeah, I mean, it's 2025. We all know how to use QR codes now. Right. We've got it together.
100%. And I wanted to say one more thing about how you said there's not a lot of events in Pittsburgh. So like you literally created them what you wanted to see in Pittsburgh, you know, and that's why people be saying it's trash. But it's just like, create the event.
Absolutely.
Then.
It's always what you make it.
Right. Like if nobody's doing it and you complaining about it, you do it.
Oh, I will stand on that hill for the rest of my life, because I say that all the time. Yo, I'm going to go to Atlanta, and I'm going to go to New York, I'm going to go to Charlotte, or go to Houston, because they got XYZ. They have XYZ. It's like, okay, well, do XYZ here. Clearly no one's doing. That's an open path to entrepreneurship. Market, it's an open market. Do it here. Yeah,
I never understood that. Like, why go to a city with millions of people that's already doing it? Like, you have better chances here, and then bringing those people out here to Pittsburgh and be like, oh yeah, Pittsburgh got some dope events. Create a South by Southwest out here, or do whatever you need to do.
You want.
Like it doesn't have to be in those major cities. And Pittsburgh is coming up. Like, you see the whole downtown, they about to revitalize that whole thing. Like, so, you know, get in where the opportunity fits in. Like, stop trying to. I don't know. I just think it's like going to those cities is like beating a dead horse, for real.
No, it is.
And it's just more hard because it takes you longer to get set up and create your foundations, because when you get to that city, you don't know 500 people.
No,
you got to build that. That takes time. That takes energy. That takes you being out. That takes you spending money. You know, all these variables that you're not considering. And then meanwhile, they get to those cities and just be following and tag teaming and supporting somebody else's vision when they could be doing it themselves. Like, I got a big issue with that. So come correct, man. Like, come correct and do what you're supposed to do. Show the city some love and just create. And then Black owned, that's even better, because we be popping out. So yeah, nah, I don't want to close it out yet.
I mean, I do got a few.
Yeah. I just want to ask, like, what keeps you motivated through doing this? Because you said it's just like hard, complicated, and like things are not
take that
uphill
vacation.
Hurdles. You gotta take that vacation. Like, I mean, outside of the vacation, what keeps you going?
Other than the love of my city, which we just talked about, the absolute most important thing to me is the feedback that I get from people. I've had some of the most like heartwarming comments, people that, love it. People come and they celebrate things. We had a lady who celebrated her retirement, people who celebrate their anniversary. Of course, birthdays are always in the house. Those kinds of things where people know that they can come to the event and enjoy themselves. And then what I call my big three. So I had a guy who lost a toenail from dancing too much.
What?
He took his shoe off and his toenail was in his shoe.
Oh, wow.
And he told me about it and I was like, great.
I don't know what I'm supposed to do with that, but okay.
I was
Sounds
like, well,
good.
I'm glad you had a great time. Because then there's also that stigma about Pittsburgh. And people's like, well, people go to events and people don't dance. That dance floor is packed at the Blackout.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
it brings so much joy to my heart to see people literally out there dancing and enjoying themselves. My second one is last year we had a proposal, and that was so wonderful. And I didn't see it because we had the photo backdrop on the way in, and so everybody comes in and gets their pictures taken. And so my photographers, shout out to J Visionary, they're amazing. They sent me the pictures when I was on my vacation. Yeah. And I'm going through the pictures and I was like, what's happening?
Somebody on one knee. Yeah,
right,
yeah.
literally on one knee, like proposed on the black carpet. Yeah. So that was so lovely. And I was very honored that, they chose that moment to do it. And then my number one favorite story is my baby, a good friend of mine, her and her husband had a great time at the Blackout.
Okay.
And ended up with baby number 6.
Hey.
What did?
Turn up. They turned up for real.
Told me she was pregnant, and I said, "What?" She's like, "It's your fault."
Wow.
So shout out to Melody. She is my fabulous Friday baby. And she's 2.5 now, and I claim her.
Up,
that's my
dope.
baby.
That's dope.
Fabulous Friday baby.
Look, you bringing all types of people together.
You know what I mean? From all walks of life.
All walks of life. Just bring them together. That's
Babies,
dope. That's dope.
engagements.
That was a good night. You know what I mean? That was a good night. Yeah. So show up.
But that's a big reason to keep doing it, because the stories that people tell me about the time that they had, that night, even just, my feet were so bad, and people bring flats, which is great.
Yeah, you gotta be smart.
Right, my
Prepare
veterans,
accordingly.
they know to prepare. They bring their flats, and now it's kind of created, the culture and the vibe, lives on its own, and that's because of the people that come. And so they are the reason why I continue to do what I do.
That's what's up.
That's dope. That's dope. Can you shout out some of the vendors that's going to be there this year? Or that's that under wrap?
Oh, yeah, that's so easy because I only have one vendor this year.
Oh, okay.
And it's going to be Cloud 33. Shout out to Gene. Cloud 33 Cigar Lounge is going to be our vendor for the cigar tent. Nice. And he is a wonderful person to work with. If you've not stopped up to Cloud 33 in Penn Hills, definitely do. It's a vibe. It's BYOB. They have a poetry night. He's always doing events there. We're doing a line dancing class there. So if you don't know boots on the ground like me and you want to be prepared for the Blackout, come to the line dancing class. It's going to be at Cloud 33, April 25th. Hey. So you can, be ready.
Get your wiggles on.
Right? I don't know how to do it either. So.
Facts.
Yeah, that's so dope. So any last comments?
Oh, I got one more before we get into the comments. What type of advice would you give your younger self about your maturation and everything now? What is something you'll tell your younger self?
That's a good question. That's a good question.
Really just to keep trying. I've actually done a number of businesses in my lifetime. I get that from my dad. My dad's run a number of businesses in his lifetime.
Shout out to him.
And I've done everything from selling wigs to selling nails to, doing literally all. I was a makeup artist professionally for a number of years.
Your face is beat today.
Yeah, right.
Thank you.
What they call the moi.
Thank you. And so sometimes you think that this is going to be your thing.
Yeah.
And this is going to be the business that makes me successful. And this is what I'm going to retire.
But you found another lane.
Doing. And literally when I said that we started doing this just because Jamie had an empty space and I had some friends and we had a party. You could not tell me that it would be what it is today.
Yeah.
Both in the Blackout and in the foundation. Like that was not on my bingo card at all. But because of the way that life goes sometimes, you have to be open and be flexible to say, maybe this was the path. Like it didn't go this way, but it went this way. So keep trying because you do get some disappointments. You're like, oh, this isn't working or people don't want this or, that or whatever. and it gets, you get down on it. And like, maybe I'll just work a 9 to 5 for the rest of my life. But you have to continue to go. So just to keep trying.
Yeah, don't give up.
Yeah,
because you're gonna get a whole bunch of no's before you get a yes.
Absolutely.
So,
and listen, I still get no's.
Yeah,
I'm like, hey, you want to write me a check for this party that I'm doing? Like, no.
Real talk. Yeah, but that don't stop you. It don't. It doesn't set you back. You just got to have a mindset. Like, you'll probably 100 no's before you get that one yes. But that one yes. Gonna change your life. You know what I'm saying?
Even though I'm new to the nonprofit space, and learning how nonprofits run has been its own education. And I've had some great consultants and people that have mentored me, through this process, which I'm definitely grateful for.
Right.
But it comes with a lot of no's too. The nonprofit space in Pittsburgh is heavy. There's a lot of competition. And so people are like, oh, I want to start a nonprofit. And I'm not discouraging anyone at all to do it, because if you have a passion and you have a purpose, follow that purpose. But be prepared for the rough times, because you will get a lot of no's in that arena as well. And so, but I believe in what, I'm doing. I believe in giving back to my city and the people that, continue to support me. I'm grateful for, and so that's really what, having those motivations to keep going is so important. When you get those no's, you're like, but I'm still going to do it.
Right. Yeah. Take the no. Yeah. Like you said that perfectly. Take the no as motivation to keep going. Like, and then take the yes as the work satisfaction for the work that you put in to get that. Yeah, validate it. Thank you. Yeah, to validate the work that you put in. So yeah, a no just means work a little bit harder.
Yes.
That's it.
Just a little pivot, you know what I'm saying? That's all.
So are we? I'm ready. I don't know if you're ready. If you got one more, then let me know.
Listen, I have a lot, because you're just an interesting person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I have a lot, but
you ready to cut off? I'm like, nah, not yet.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's.
Well, did we touch on everything? Did we miss anything? Well-rounded.
Anything that you feel like you need to?
So the only other thing that I want to add is that we do have a new component this year, in addition to things that I wanted to add and continue to add value to the event. So this year I partnered with Catapult Greater Pittsburgh. Shout out to Catapult.
Shout out to them.
And because they do amazing work with small businesses, and they've literally started physical businesses, retail spaces, and things like that. And so I knew that they were the perfect partner to do, to collaborate with for this. But this year we're doing the very first Small Business Excellence Award. And we collaborated, we got together, and when we went to name the award, I wanted it to be something meaningful. And so it is called the Biddy Mason Award for Small Business Excellence. And Biddy Mason was a former slave who started her own businesses and was when she died, was one of the wealthiest women in America.
Oh, wow.
Fire.
Yeah.
Biddy Mason. Look, I learned something.
Yeah,
you learned something. I know y'all ain't know who that was.
Right, exactly. And so to continue that spirit of growing in entrepreneurship, it doesn't matter where you started.
Absolutely.
You can end up where you want to be with hard work. And so we closed. We had open nominations. We had over 36 applicants, and we just closed the applications April 1st, or March 31st, doesn't matter. But and so we will be selecting a winner very soon. And we're very proud of that, to add that component to the blackout. But the only thing that I said was, it cannot be an award ceremony, because we've all sat through too many award ceremonies. It gets, you're like, oh, thanks and all this people and whatnot. So the winner will know beforehand.
Okay.
And
you got 2 minutes to say what you gotta say.
and we're gonna give them the award, and then they'll just be awarded the actual award, and then there is also a cash prize that goes along with that. And in addition to Catapult, partnering with us and presenting that award, we also have Joey Porter Sr. is going to also present the award with us. So we're grateful to have him there in attendance and help us celebrate this first award. Definitely.
Yeah, we gonna make you open up a vote for best social media podcast platform in Pittsburgh, because we coming for somebody's spot. You know what I mean? Like, we need something. The work we put in, the guests we got, we coming for an award. Maybe not this year, but
don't worry, we on your heels.
Yeah, we here. Don't look at us. You see who we got. We got Danielle Edmond sitting here today. You know what I'm saying? We coming for that. Something. Because we like I tell everybody recently, it's just like, my vision for culture content was just to be that platform that provides information and about what's going on in the city, about business, learning, and all those avenues. And so when, we connected, I'm just like, yo, this is exactly the vision that I had, which is like, yo, you got the All Black event coming up May 9th. You got to, if you wasn't on this podcast, you know what I mean, promoting your event, then it wasn't meant to happen. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like by every guest and every episode that we put out, we just getting closer and closer to like that dream being coming true. And like I said, having you here to talk about Black Friday is just like we on our way. Yeah. We up next. We coming. And then we gonna have you back for next year's event. You know what I mean? Like, don't forget about us.
Gotta follow up with the guests.
Yeah, because we gonna have a whole bunch of clips for you to come out and let everybody know. May 9th. All right. If you ain't got your tickets, it's only 5 tickets left, so go get them now. Go get them now, and if you don't get a ticket, then next year is always a thing, So make sure you tune in, get your tickets, get your outfits ready. Because we going to have a time. We going to have a time.
In that order.
Yeah.
Because people get their outfits and don't have tickets.
Yeah.
Wild behavior.
Right.
Wild behavior.
Oh, I got my outfit. It's so cute. I'm like, do you have a ticket?
Right. Come on now. We got to do better. Yeah. You got an outfit to stand outside the venue?
Absolutely.
You can't be hit from outside the club.
Right.
Right.
Or like, yeah, come on, guys. Let's get ready. Let's go have a good time. Let's respect the venue. And let's just keep supporting our businesses. Well, I'm going to just say Black-owned businesses. Let's just keep supporting each other. And it doesn't even have to be Black. I say that because I think we all need each other at one point or another. It can't just be just one. It can't just be our culture. Like, we need to bring everybody into our culture, to make it bigger. Because, it's going to be big regardless. But, it's just... Yeah, we trying to build a village with everybody supporting each other. So I think that's where it comes in. It's to be dope. So now that you know me,
now that I will speak to you.
Yeah. Now you don't hit me with the stranger danger.
Get away from me.
Yeah, 100%. So, again, can you drop your tags and tell them where they can find you? And then, of course, put it out there May 9th.
Definitely. I am Fabulous Friday PGH on all socials and even my websites. That's simple. Fabulous Friday PGH on all socials and website.
Yeah.
I'm just getting my 2-step ready.
Let's go, y'all. Y'all better check in, man. Don't wait. I'm telling y'all now, don't wait. And be fly. I'm coming in and correct. You know what I mean? I'm standing out. I ain't gonna lie. I don't know what I'm wearing, but I got my ticket though. I ain't get the outfit.
First.
That's what matters. That's all that matters.
I ain't figured it out, but I will be in the building. So I can't wait. I'm excited because I feel like this is gonna be like the biggest event of the year. So, and that's not just hyping it up because you're here, but I'm like really looking forward to it. I'm already like every night I'm like, what shoes am I wearing to this thing? Like seriously, I'm like, nah, I don't want those. Like,
No, I hear people who message me their outfit. They're like, is this cute? Is this work? I'm like, yes, girl, as long as you got your ticket and it's Black.
Right, that's it. Yes. Follow instructions, everybody. Yes, follow instructions or you will get bounced at the door. Okay? We not playing no shenanigans. Do not wear purple. Okay? Do not. All right, all Black. But we love y'all. We appreciate y'all. I'm Kay.
I'm Chaz.
And our special guest today is
Danielle Edmond.
Let's go. Another heavy hitter in the building. Let's go. Love it.
And on a note, we're out. Holla.